Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome aboard. Every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm dropping brand new videos on how to improve your public speaking skills, creative writing skills, social skills, and much more. Join the tribe by hitting that subscribe button right on below. Hit that bell notification and never miss another video again. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and be sure to drop that like on your way in. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the issue of running out of breath while you're speaking. This is a common issue that happens in conversations, on the public speaking stage, or let's just say you have a YouTube channel where you're talking for an extended period of time. Running out of breath can hurt someone's confidence whenever they're speaking. And in today's episode, I want to give an alternate look into this matter. I'm going to be taking an excerpt from my book, Showtime, a story on public speaking, presentation skills, inspiration, and mastery, which is currently available on Amazon. And I'm going to be detailing the main character's problem, or one of the many problems that he's facing, where his name is Malakai. And he's learning the art and science of impromptu speaking. There's a problem though. The problem is that there's not many resources out there on learning impromptu speaking, but he knows that this is the skill set for him. Thus far in the story, he's been struggling with imposter syndrome because his oldest brother is a decorated fighter with tons and tons of awards and national recognition. And Malakai's twin brother, the one with the matching face as him, is a world-renowned chess player. Malakai understands that impromptu speaking is going to be the skill set that he's going to master in order to move out of his brother's shadows. But as he's learning it, he notices that there's an issue that he's facing. Because when he's speaking off the cuff, he notices that he needs to think on the spot. And as he's thinking on the spot, it's causing him to burn up more mental faculties. As he's burning up more mental faculties, he notices that it's throwing his breathing patterns off rhythm. The ideas are formulated in his mind, but by the time he's trying to speak it into existence, he's over here huffing and puffing away. And what is the voice exactly? It's processed breath. So with him huffing and puffing, being inefficient with his breathing, his voice doesn't sound too good. So Malakai starts to go on this little goose chase to understand what he can do about this matter. At first, he's thinking it's strictly a physical issue, and he decides to call his mom. His mom is a very famous swimmer in their village. And he's asking his mom, "Yo, mom, when you're swimming, how is it that you're able to preserve breath so well? I mean, teach me this real quick." And she's over here speaking in a way where Malakai's not understanding. The mom is highly intuitive in nature, so she's using phrases like, you just gotta build a better timing. You gotta get in the rhythm, son. You gotta go with the flow. Malakai's not quite getting what she's talking about. And he makes a mental note regardless, but he realizes that he needs to pursue this more. Soon, he runs into his friend Zimmer. Zimmer is like, "Yo, Malakai, you ever thought about singing before?" And Malakai's like, "Singing? No, singing is for girls." And Zimmer's like, "Okay, you know what? Never mind. Let's drop it." But this got Malakai's curiosity. Why did Zimmer, one of his most well thought out friends, randomly just bring up singing for? So Malakai asks him, "Why did you specifically bring up singing?" And this is when Zimmer tells Malakai that he had a public speaking coach who was very unorthodox in the way that he coached his students. And the public speaking coach made Zimmer sing. This automatically got Malakai's curiosity. He was like, "Wait a minute. You had a public speaking coach? give me this guy's address. Let me get in contact with him. Zimmer was initially fighting him on the matter, but eventually he submitted and gave Malakai the contact information. Malakai meets up with this renowned public speaking coach whose name is Taleb. In the beginning stages, Taleb didn't want to work with him because Malakai seemed too not polished. But eventually, Malakai was able to get this coach, Taleb, to work with him. And in their first meetup together, Taleb takes Malakai into IHOP. And Malakai's over here trying to create conversation with his new coach. But the coach just keeps ignoring Malakai's questions. Malakai is starting to get agitated. He's someone that doesn't like the silence too much. He feels as though whenever he's silent too long, especially near a stranger, it's not good. It feels as though that Malakai himself is failing in this interaction. So he tries even harder to ask Taleb some questions to build some rapport. And Taleb continues to ignore his questions. Now Malakai's over here feeling agitated. He's over here moving a lot, touching his neck a lot, and just fidgeting. And Taleb is observing Malakai. As he's observing Malakai, he begins smiling. And he asks Malakai a simple question. You don't like silence, do you? Malakai's like, no, I don't really like silence like that. And Taleb gives Malakai a lesson that will forever shift his perspective regarding communication skills. Taleb says, Malakai, silence is just as important as words in communication. Understand this. And then he goes back to being silent. And just like that, Malakai has this revelation out of nowhere. He's like, silence is just as important as words in a communication. Wait, this surprisingly is going to help me with my running out of breath issue for impromptu speaking. Because thus far, as Malakai has been practicing impromptu speaking, what he keeps on doing is he's factoring so much importance on the words that he's not necessarily giving silence the respect that it deserves, which is why he keeps rushing himself. And anytime there is a silence, he feels guilty instead of understanding that he could use the silence as an opportunity to further amplify his message. He is now observing Taleb. He notices that whenever Taleb speaks, he uses a lot of facial gestures, a lot of gestures just in general, where he's not using words. And that's when Malakai starts to understand. Sure, his mom's advice can help him with the whole physical part of running out of breath. Sure, get in better shape and work on your breathing. But Taleb's advice is something that's more mental. It's a perceptual shift in regards to communication that allows Malakai to change his perspective regarding communication as a whole. From there, he's able to take timely pauses. And as he takes timely pauses, it's much more effective in order to preserve his breath. And as he preserves his breath, he has a beautiful tonality anytime he's speaking. So what exactly is it that you can learn out of Malakai's story? You can learn a few things. First, the whole issue with running out of breath while speaking, there's different reasons why it occurs. If you're someone that hypothetically doesn't go to the gym, drink a lot of alcohol, eat a lot of KFC, then chances are your issue is physical. The voice is something that doesn't just happen in the mouth area, it happens in the entire body. And when the physicality of a person is completely off, it normally makes the person just run out of breath. I mean, they could not even be speaking and they'll still run out of breath. This is clearly a health issue. But every now and then, there's people that seem in great shape, but you'll notice them running out of breath as well. You may be currently suffering from that issue where your head's starting to hurt and the voice starts to feel flimsy. And when we're in such discomfort, we're like, all right, man, let's just wrap up our message. And we don't sound convincing to the person that we're speaking with. This is a mental issue. Chances are that this communicator is factoring words as way more important than the silence. They're looking at a coin and they're like, heads is way more important than tails, rather than viewing them in the same light. This is a mental issue. So for this one, like the physical issue, clearly go to the gym, do some sort of working out, who knows, go swimming. But for the mental issue, it's smart to embrace silence, which is difficult. The question is, how can someone embrace silence? The first thing that I've noticed is that there's pockets of silence throughout the day. It doesn't matter how busy a person is. In certain pockets of the day, there's opportunities for silence to be embraced. Let's say someone is going for a long drive. Rather than playing the music too much, take, let's say, 30 seconds to embrace the silence. In a conversation, when there is a certain point of silence, rather than immediately labeling it as the awkward silence, why not just exchange it for awesome silence? It seems comical, but words are very subtle perception reprogrammers. So it's not like awkward silence sounds any better. Awesome silence can allow the person to further embrace silence in the process. So it really comes down to understanding which problem are we facing, or is it both? It could be a person who's clearly out of shape, is not taking care of their health, and they just have a bad relationship with silence. This is a person that will have to understand what's going on and then find the clear fixes for that. The moral of the story is that silence is not an enemy. Silence allows for more opportunity to exercise charm, to showcase facial gestures, and when we are silent after a mega point, this further enhances the point. So silence has a whole bunch of versatility, and if you're currently someone who's running out of breath while you're speaking, you of all people should take some time and start to view silence in a positive light, gradually and willingly embrace it, and that's when words and silence will be viewed in the same exact light. Showtime is currently available on Amazon. It's available in Kindle Unlimited, a paperback, and hardcover copy. This book has a lot of lessons in regards to becoming a better public speaker, improving your stage presence, learning to think on your feet, dealing with persistence, and much more. Check out Showtime in the description box or the pinned comment, or go straight to Amazon and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.